Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So welcome to today's day 0 battle drill prep for the Spider Wasteland map. So this is the very first time we tackle this map, and in today's video we will talk about the different TLDRs that you guys need to know, as well as offer my most optimal way to tackle this map. So this will be the very first time we are tackling the map, so there might be better ways depending on more info released tomorrow. As you guys can see, we are 17 hours away, so I'll be basing today's guide off the different information that we have, as well as our prior experience to battle drills. And if there are other changes for a more complete guide, then I'll probably produce it tomorrow or the next few days after this map is unlocked, after we are further into the progression itself. So without further ado, let's run through some of the notes first before we talk about how to tackle the map. So number one, let's start with the top camp. So this camp can hold up to 6 players, and this camp skill is superiority. All allies damage dealt to bosses increases by 50%, so it only affects boss stronghold battles, and Supreme Plus heroes will receive extra 250% damage when their EX weapon is EX 15. So this camp is definitely for the strongest player in the guild, right? The strongest 6 who can actually make teams with as many EX 15 units as possible. That way they will be able to benefit fully from the superiority camp bonus and allow them to push through the boss stages to connect with the rest of the guilds as fast as possible. So in this map itself, right, usually for battle drill, all the camps must be connected in order for the whole guild to benefit from the bonuses itself. So for this camp over here, the players in this camp will get boss damage bonus, which allows them to kill the boss stronghold battles faster. So their role at the very start is to push all the way down, right, kill Iron over here as well as Merrily over here, because the players over here, they are usually the strongest people and they have the superiority bonus, which allows them to kill the bosses faster compared to the other camps at the bottom before they link up. Okay, so for the top camp, 6 of your strongest player with as many EX 15 as possible, and then push downwards at the start of the battle drill to connect with the rest of the guild so that everybody benefit from the buff. And right, later on, after we get all the buff, we start to tackle all the other stronghold battles at the top. So start of the run, what I feel is you should tackle downwards with all the superiority buff, connect up first, and then tackle the top camps. So that's for the top camp players. And then for the bottom camp over here, there is the usual versatile style, which provides additional defenses as well as attack for more damage. So this camp can hold up to 12 players, and the other camp can also hold up to 12 players. So as you move to the left side, you get the Desolate Path, which gives you 2 different capture buffs. So one is the True Potential, which gives you additional damage on elite stronghold battles, and the other one is the Trailblazer, which gives you additional 250% damage on Passage Brawl. So when you first start off, like I mentioned earlier, before you actually connect with the other camps itself, you're only able to benefit from the camp on your path. So players who are on the left camp will go through the left path, right, move upwards to connect with everyone else, but before they are connected to everyone else, they have to pass through this camp, which consists of 5 units over here, right, and this camp, which is another elite stronghold camp, which consists of another 5 units. Okay, so you have a few stronghold camps to tackle after you get the path. And in most cases, right, if you want to talk about which of the two is better, for people who start off in this camp, honestly speaking, I would say True Potential would be probably the better one, because you want to be able to link up to the other members as fast as possible so you can tackle the other stages together, right? So for the other members who will be getting the buff after everything is connected, depending on your progression on the map itself, taking the second buff, which is the Trailblazer, might be not a bad option, right? Because for the 250% damage boost on Passage Brawl itself, it might actually speed up the pushing speed for the Passage Brawls at the top, as well as the Passage Brawls towards the left, as well as the right side of the map. So there's this time 96, there's this 96 battle, and then there's this 36 all on the top. So these are all Passage Brawls, and depending on your guild condition, depending on how easy it is for the Passage Brawl itself, right, this 250% buff might be massive, right? It might not be that significant if you can still deploy the usual 3 units per battle strategy to get through the Passage Brawl in minimal time. So if your team or your guild are generally very strong players that can clear Passage Brawl super easily, then I think Trailblazer will not make much of a difference. Then you should just focus your effort on True Potential to just quickly push through the Elite Stronghold, because usually the Elite Stronghold battles are the one that will hold back most guilds in terms of pushing. So that's my personal take, right, in terms of what buffs to take. Okay, so before you get connected, basically people on the left camp, I'll say True Potential, so that you can clear through the stronghold battle, and then you get to connect with the rest of the guilds as fast as possible. As for the other members in the top camp, as well as the right camp, right, depending on the situation of your guild, choose the respective buff that will benefit your pushing speed, depending on, you know, your guild discussion itself. So that's for the buff picking for the left Desolate Path camp. Now for the right hand side Desolate Path, we have these 2 buff choices. So one is Iron Resolve, which is 250% damage bonus on non-boss stronghold battles with 4 or more enemies at the start of battle. And for the Hot Pursuit, it is 150% bonus on non-boss stronghold battles when there are 2 or less enemies at the start of battle. So if you take a look at the map structure, as mentioned earlier, the top camp players should try to move downwards, tackle all the bosses, because they have the superiority buff, which deals bonus damage on boss stronghold battles, so that you can connect with the rest of the guild ASAP. For the left hand side players, they would want to pick the True Potential so that they can hit the Elite Stronghold battles as fast as possible, because there are pretty little Passage Brawls before you link up. So the Passage Brawl buff before you link up, Trailblazer is not as efficient. As for the right hand side, right, before you link up, the Hot Pursuit buff is a lot better, because if you take a look at the path that you're gonna take, this camp, it's 2 enemies. This camp, it's 2 enemies as well. So, right, before you actually link up, the right players should probably be picking Hot Pursuit so that you can link up with the rest of the guild ASAP. And similar to the previous Desolate Path power up, once your whole guild links up, depending on how you're gonna tackle the map itself, right, either of this is okay in my honest take, because right, once you tackle the left hand side, you would have cleared all this before you link up. If you tackle the right hand side, you would have cleared all this, and then for the top players to clear all this Elite Stronghold over here, right, you're only left with actually 6 strongholds that will be untackled. So we have 1 camp with 4, we have another camp with 4, so 2, so this one is 2, and then this one is 4, so 3 camp with 4 units to start, and then 3 camps with 2 units to start. So the distribution is pretty equal, and depending on this stronghold details itself, personally for the buffs over here, I will take Hot Pursuit, because Hot Pursuit will benefit the whole guild after linking up most of the time, because it comes into effect when you start the battle with 2 or fewer non-summon enemies. So this includes those maps with 4 enemies to start, but you killed off 2 of them, right? Whereas if you go for, like, for example, Iron Resolve, if the battle starts with less than 4 units, you are not going to get this buff. So as much as the efficiency for Hot Pursuit might not be the best, but it is probably the most efficient in terms of general coverage. Like, it basically covers 2 different conditions, right? One is when you start the stronghold battle with only 2 units, or the other way is if your guild managed to kill off like 2 or 3 units and the tile is only left with 2 units, then your guild will also benefit from the damage buff. So even though this gives less bonus, 150%, pretty little compared to the 250%, this will be in effect in more places, in more tiles. So I will go for Hot Pursuit, but depending on your guild decision making, right, I think Iron Resolve might work because 250% allows you to kill off the tiles with 4 units ASAP as well. So this one is really dependent on your guild power level. So that is after you link up, right? As for the whole guild movement itself, after you link up towards the middle of the map, right, I think most people should either be using the Trailblazer, right? Should be using the Trailblazer because you are only left with 6 Elite Stronghold after the link up, but you are left with like over 200 plus Passage Brawls. So depending on how strong your guild is, depending on whether or not, right, your guild can actually 3-man the individual Passage Brawls itself, right, the 250% buff could greatly accelerate your whole guild's progression because there's so many battles and there's so little energy to distribute between the different members itself. So if even the lower powered members getting that 250% buff on Passage Brawl could clear the stages with only 3 units with that buff itself, then it could be a good buff, right? If your whole guild is so powerful that Passage Brawl is not an issue for you, that 250% doesn't matter much because your guild can already push through all the normal Passage Brawls with only 3 units, then, right, you should just go for the True Potential. So this is a very flexible map depending on how strong your guild is, depending on how many members you have with EX15, your positioning, the starting camp will change. But the general idea would probably still be to link up towards the middle first and then tackle the Passage Brawl as well as the Elite Strongholds separately afterwards. As for the 2 strongholds over here, there's not much details, so I'm not gonna talk too much about them. I don't know whether or not you start off with 5 units or you start off with 4 units, so we are not gonna factor them into the calculation, but they should be tackled last because you have 96 over battles, right? And you want to make life easier after getting all the buffs from this camp, as well as from the top camp, right? If you can. Okay, so right here. Okay, so that's pretty much it, the general, I'll say, progression for this battle drill itself. Obviously, I think the way to tackle the map might change, right, depending on how easy the battles in the middle are. Because if tackling the outer track, right, is a lot easier, a lot faster, then you might even want to just tackle the outer track to just get the 20 bonus and then make it easier for you to clear the inner track. But based on what I observed right here, I think the inner track should be the most optimal way to go because this one gives you 10 level bonus, this one gives you 10 level bonus, and once you connect with the boss nodes, this is 40 level bonus. That's a lot of stats, and that would probably help accelerate the whole guild's pushing power because once all the different camps are linked up, you get all the level bonuses as well as the desolate buffs itself. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just some day 0 tips and tricks, TLDRs, as well as my potential way to tackle this map. Thank you very much for tuning in. As for the boss battle itself, I'll probably wait until the actual release to talk about this Grim Executor's animation as well as what are the different things to talk about. Then I'll give my most optimal team builds if you guys are interested. That's all. I'll see you guys again in my next AFK journey video. Bye guys!